Get in the know. Non-stop Vikings talk. It's Purple Daily on Score North and ScoreNorth.com.
Hey, you held him to 20 points, man. You gave us a chance at the end. But I got 3 words for you. You like that?
Oh, that's right. Captain Kirk buzzed his hair over the weekend. I don't know if you guys
Did you
saw.
see? I saw the Christmas Easter picture. Kirk and the fam.
Bald Kirk.
That's right. Kirk and
This is the
I
way.
mistaken as the same person now.
You guys look a lot alike.
One and the same. All right, this is Purple Daily. Phil Mackey, Judd Zulgad, Declan Goff. It is a mock draft Monday, and so we're going to dive into one of our favorite mock draft sites because you know what? They built this thing about 20 years ago, and they have stuck to the same format for about 20 years. A legendary
excited.
mock draft site. I'm going to spring a mock draft surprise on you guys today, in which we are going to have some control, and we're gonna for the first time in 2021, even though we don't know the order of the games yet, we know the opponents. We know there's going to be 17 games. We know the Week 17 game. We're going to pick the Vikings schedule for the first time. Judd took this exercise an extra step as well, which we will get to. And all of those things presented in large part by our friends at TCL. Enjoy more of the things you love at TCL, the presenting sponsor of Purple Daily. Also, Wamatek, if you're watching or listening on a broken down device, which, by the way, we just had an interaction with our general manager. Judd Zulgad has a broken down device. Although, we just have like a stash of, for Judd only, just a stash of laptops ready. So he didn't have to go to Wamatek.
But I would have.
Yeah. I mean, the GM was like, Mr. Zulgad, can I present you with 5 other laptops? Sir, Mr. Zulgad, yes. But if you are watching... Quack,
Quack, Mr. Ducksworth.
Wamatek is the place. Wamatek, Minnesota-based company. What they do is they source pre-owned devices directly and pass the savings on to you guys. They'll even buy your old device for cash. Buy, sell, trade in, whatever you need. Wamatek.com. That's Wamatek.com. Wamatek.com. All right. You guys ready for this?
Yeah.
Little mock cheer.
I want a mock!
So let's start out with our friends at WalterFootball.com.
Yeah! Wally's back! I thought he might be dead, but I'm glad to hear Wally's back.
WalterFootball.com. And so just before we go in here, once or twice a week minimum, we round up some of the most prominent and credible mock drafts around the internet, including our friends at WalterFootball.com. And we keep a running tally of all the different players who have gone to the Vikings in the first round and how many times they have. So to this point, Elijah Vera-Tucker, the offensive lineman from USC, and Christian Barmore, the defensive lineman from Alabama, have each gone to the Vikings 4 times. Christian Darrisaw, offensive tackle from Virginia Tech, and Kwity Paye, the edge rusher from Michigan, have gone to the Vikings twice each. And then beyond that, it's literally like 10, 11, or 12 players who've gone once. So the Vikings don't really have across the mock draft universe, there's not really like a consensus agreement on who they're going to pick. I think because there's so many different iterations of how the top 13 picks could play out.
Absolutely.
So with that, we're going to dive into WalterFootball.com's mock draft. I'm not going to put it up on the screen because we have something else we're going to load up here on the screen. So you're just going to have to use your imagination of a Walter Football mock draft big board here, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Number 1, Jacksonville Jaguars, Trevor Lawrence. I'm waiting for someone to come out and be bold and be like, no.
It's not going to happen.
They loved Mac Jones's pro day.
It would be great,
They're
but it's
just
not going to
go
happen.
in.
That'd be awesome.
They're going to take a chance on Trey Lance, number 1 overall, but it sounds like it's going to be Trevor Lawrence. All right, number 2, Zach Wilson to the Jets, becoming more and more of a reality. Number 3, Walter Football has Trey Lance going to the San Francisco 49ers.
You like my write that down?
And then Justin Fields making it 4 straight quarterbacks. Bang, 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 bang to the Atlanta Falcons. And that brings us to the Cincinnati Bengals taking Penei Sewell, the offensive tackle stud from Oregon that the Vikings are hoping might slide a few picks. Maybe
He's
down to
gonna
the
be a good
late
one.
single digits.
Mm-hmm.
Dolphins taking Kyle Pitts with the 6. Jamar Chase to the Lions at 7. Mac Jones makes it 5 quarterbacks and 8 picks at 8 to the Panthers. Panthers seem very quarterback desperate, but in a terrible spot in this draft.
Yes.
Like they're going to have to take like the 5th quarterback off the board or
Christian
trade up
Ponder.
somehow.
They are going to take Christian Ponder.
Yeah,
That's
it's
what it
tough.
feels like.
Broncos taking Micah Parsons, the linebacker from Penn State, and then Patrick Surtain into Devontae Smith to the Giants, into a 3rd straight Alabama player, Jalen Waddle to the Eagles, and then Rashawn Slater goes 1 pick ahead of the Vikings here to the Chargers at 13, which leaves the Vikings, according to WalterFootball.com, with the 14th overall pick. Elijah Vera-Tucker, offensive tackle from USC.
I want a mock!
Is that 5 now? 5 mock drafts
Yep, he now
that we've
takes
done?
the lead. Yep, he takes the lead now.
Congratulations, Elijah.
So Walter's write-up is the Vikings cut Riley Reif, which means their offensive line is a greater liability. Now they could use this pick on a new blindside protector for Kirk Cousins. They previously had Jalen Phillips, the edge rusher from Miami, I believe, going 14. So they note that this is a pick change for the Vikings. So Elijah Vera-Tucker now takes the lead in our mock draft roundup. How would you guys – I feel like if they take Elijah Vera-Tucker, it would just be like – they wouldn't be trading up for him. I just think if it fell this way, they might pull the trigger. I guess we'll see. And now there are some reports that he could play guard too. I don't know if I'm in love with taking a guard with the 14th
Same with
pick.
Slater, I think, as well, that he can play both. So I'm telling you, if it falls, and it might, if it falls this way, I still think that the head coach is going to be in the GM's ear saying one thing: defense, more defense, defensive end. Defensive end remains a need. Like a second end remains a need. I don't think Zim is going to punt on that. I don't think Zim doesn't strike me as the type of guy who's like, oh, you know what? It is. You guys are all right. Time to address the O-line. Like, there's nothing in his past now that really says that, right? So if it falls like this, I think he's going to be in Spielman's ear saying one thing. There's a lot of defensive ends there, Rick.
Yeah.
A lot of defensive ends.
I'm glad you brought up sort of the if it falls this way concept here, Judd Zulgad, because
I want a mock!
what we have next for you from our friends at thedraftnetwork.com, I ponied up this morning for a premium subscription to thedraftnetwork.com so that the three of us could do our own mock draft. Judd's going to be, let's say, the president of football operations.
I hope you can expense this.
I'll be the GM.
Tax write-off.
Declan can be the what's the guy who oversees like the draft room? Is that I don't know, like the football
war room supervisor?
That guy.
That guy?
The coffee guy?
That guy. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So, boys, the Draft Network allows you to make trades. It allows you to pause and sort of react here. And so what I would love to do is I'm going to start this up. We are representing the Vikings at 14. This is also a 3-round mock if we get that far.
Okay.
We can select whoever we want in the 3rd round. Maybe Kyle Trask will still be on the board. But I'm going to start this thing up here, okay? And then I'll pause it every like 3 or 4 picks so we can kind of evaluate and just survey the landscape and the board. But here we go. All right, we're going to start the draft. Jacksonville Jaguars on the clock. This will move pretty fast. They take Trevor Lawrence, no shock. Zach Wilson going number 2.
Yep.
And then the Niners taking Mac Jones with the number 3 pick, all right? I'm going to try and scroll down here a little bit if I can so you guys can see. So if the draft plays out this way to this point, I think that's probably a good thing for the Vikings. To me, I think the more quarterbacks and receivers that come off the board, the better position they'll be in for trenches players that they may want, right? Is that a fair assessment?
That's a very fair assessment. That's accurate, yes.
Okay. So you see this little button over here on the right of your screens? By the way, if you're listening to this via podcast, we will do our best to illustrate the visual, but there's a big trade button on the right side of the screen here. Yep. We can click that button and we can just like propose trades to literally anyone. Like if we said, all right, we want to trade with the Atlanta Falcons or something, like we could just do that. I think we should wait for trades to come our way for now until we get closer to our pick. All right?
Okay. Fair enough.
Let's resume the draft. Falcons on the clock. And a few more picks have come out the board here. So Falcons at 4 have taken, looks like Kyle Pitts, tight end Florida.
All right.
Jamar Chase to the Bengals and Jalen Waddle to the Dolphins.
This is going well.
Yeah, your thoughts, Judd McShay.
Bengals were the biggest threat, in my opinion, to take Sewell and not trade out of that pick. And so if they're going to take Jamar Chase and I'm the Vikings, I'm ecstatic. And now I'm becoming more and more tempted to potentially try and move up a couple spots to get the top tackle available in this draft.
Wow.
Those are my McShayian thoughts.
So Sewell still on the board here, obviously.
Yeah, this is big.
The Lions could go any number of directions. I don't see them drafting a quarterback because they did trade for Goff, and they might want to give him a shot. He's a young guy. But obviously, Trey Lance and Justin Fields are still on the board here as we get to pick 7.
Mm-hmm.
Let's resume.
This
Lions on the clock. Lions taking Sewell.
Okay, that's
Actually, if the draft plays out this way for Carolina, they would love it, right?
They're ecstatic if they get Trey Lance at 8, yeah.
And so Trey Lance at 8.
So Sewell's gone, okay.
The Broncos on the clock at 9. Very quarterback starved as well, ever since Peyton Manning left.
All right.
But they take Micah Parsons from Penn State.
Okay.
And then Rashawn Slater goes 10 to Dallas. So now we're going to pause the draft again here. Here's how the draft has played out so far. So put yourself in the shoes of Mike Zimmer and Rick Spielman.
Oh, if I'm Zimmer, I am dancing for joy right now because I got defense on the board. I am so happy.
And so we've got Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, Mac Jones into Kyle Pitts, Jamar Chase, Jalen Waddle. So the first 6 picks are all receivers and quarterbacks. Penei Sewell into Trey Lance, Micah Parsons into Rashawn Slater. So the first 10 picks, 1 defensive player has come off the board so far, and 2 offensive linemen. All right.
And now if I'm the Vikings with Sewell and Slater gone, I am probably staying at 14.
And maybe someone will call the Vikings, or maybe someone will call us.
Well, if I could have gotten 10 from Dallas to get Slater, I would have seriously considered that. But if both those guys are gone, I think it's not worth trading up for.
All right, Dex, are you going to overrule us here? Are you going to give up the rest of the draft to trade up to 11 to get Justin Fields or Devontae Smith, or
No.
are you going to show some restraint here?
No, I'm showing some restraint. In fact, I might even have something else up my sleeve if you keep going here.
Oh,
All right.
wow. Okay. All right,
Maybe,
we're gonna go a
Okay.
couple more picks
I
here.
like to hear that. Yep. Keep going.
So the Giants have taken Devontae Smith,
That's okay. That's
Yep.
fine. No surprise.
and so now the Eagles on the clock at 12
Is there a receiver left for them?
have taken Patrick Surtain, the cornerback.
Oh, they do need a corner. They do need a corner, and that's a hell of a player.
All right, Charges.
His dad
So now,
was good too.
The
the
Chargers on the clock at 13. Vikings 1 pick away after this, and the board looks like this. Justin Fields still available. This could happen, by the way. I could see like the work ethic stuff that's come out now from Dan Orlovsky.
Which is such a plant from a team that was trying to get him to drop.
100%.
Dano, don't bite on that stuff, man.
But you've got, like, right now, I'm going to try and
Yeah.
scroll. I don't know how if I could scroll through these without it.
I can see some of that, yeah.
So Justin Fields,
Elijah Vera-Tucker's there. Justin Fields is there.
Darisaw, Vera-Tucker. If you want offensive line,
Yeah.
you're gonna get either Darisaw or Vera-Tucker here. If you want edge, you got Jalen Phillips. You got Kwity Paye. I mean, Rashad Bateman is on the board if you want to get really frisky.
And so right now you have to think that the Chargers at 13 are probably going to trade out of 13 because Fields being there, someone will come up and get him.
Yeah.
Like someone's going to give the Chargers, I think, a really lucrative package right there to get to 13 to take Justin Fields.
Well,
Don't
let's fire this back up here and see what happens at 13, and
All
then
right.
we'll be on the clock. All right.
Okay.
So the Chargers making their we got a trade offer, boys. This is the
See,
beauty.
this is where this is
the
where it comes
beauty.
in. This is where it happens.
All right. So can you see the trade offer here?
Yep.
The Chiefs have called and they have offered.
Oh, the Chiefs.
They've offered their 2nd round pick this year, and they've
Yep.
offered a 4th and a 6th and next year's 1st round pick.
What do they want?
So the Vikings would go back to the end of the 1st round, and in turn they would pick up a 2nd round pick, a 4th, a 6th for this year, and then next year's Chiefs 1st round pick, which by the way is also going to be toward the end of the 1st round. My instinct here, I feel like there's so many players that can help you right now. Darisaw, Vera-Tucker. I don't know that I would move back to pick up mid-round picks here.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
Well, first of all, what
Or
do
you'd
the
be,
Chiefs
you'd be moving back into the 2nd. You now
Right.
wouldn't pick until
Have a
pick
pick.
63. Is
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't do that.
Here's my first question. what do the Chiefs want here? Like
Well,
what?
we just received a second trade offer.
Oh, okay.
Okay. The Raiders are offering. They're offering the 17th pick, so they want to
Okay,
move
this
up a
is
few slots.
This is palatable.
Now I'm curious.
And then we're gonna actually let's decline the Chiefs offer.
Yeah.
You guys,
decline.
like, there's
I
no
don't
way
want
we're not
it.
gonna take this.
I don't
off.
want it. I don't want it.
Andy Reid, get lost, dude. Put on a Hawaiian shirt and go eat a cheeseburger.
And so this is a first? So I'm switching first.
So you're moving back 3 picks and you're picking up an additional 4th and 5th round pick in this year's draft. I think this makes sense.
I think it makes sense too.
Boy,
Kind of on
I'd
board
like
with this.
Boy, I'd like a second round pick. I'd like that second round pick
I don't think we can
that I don't have.
But we could. How many? I mean, we have like 4th and 5th. You can trade some of those to get back in the second. Like you're gonna have a surplus of 4th and 5th round picks to even move up to the bottom third of the second round, which the Vikings don't own. So I'm
Okay.
enticed to do this.
Yeah, take it. That's fine.
Let's pull the trigger. Let's pull the trigger here. All right, we're going to
Accept
accept
it.
this trade. Okay.
Yep.
Okay, so now the Raiders are on the clock. So J.C. Horn goes 13. Okay, they traded up
they
for
took
Darius.
Darius.
Oh,
Okay.
Fields to the
Fields
Patriots
now
at
goes to the
15.
Patriots.
That's what I thought was
Okay.
going to happen.
And
That's
now
what I
we're
thought was going to be our trade.
Getting more trade offers here. Okay. So the Dolphins are looking to move up 1 pick, and they're looking to give a 7th rounder.
No.
Zero chance, right?
Bleep you, Miami. Get
Well,
out.
Rick loves
Boy.
the 7th rounders.
Yeah, he does.
Rick
And
might
he-
actually say yes.
He
to
lost
this.
one too because of the the league took one of the Vikings
Yeah.
picks away from them in that round, didn't they?
The Colts are looking to move up from 21 to 17. All
All
they're
right.
offering is a 4th round pick this year. Again,
No,
I'm
no,
good on that.
you know what? I'm using this pick.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, we're going to decline that too. All right.
Let's
and then
use this pick.
And then the Chiefs are trading. Chiefs are offering again here. Okay. The Chiefs are now offering their 1st round pick. So they want to move from 31 to 17. And then they would be giving up a 3rd. So you'd have 3 third-round picks and a 5th this year. But you'd have to move from 17 to the
I want to see
back
what
of
the Vikings
first round.
do.
Yeah. I think decline
This is a more
It's
palatable
enticing,
offer here.
But I think decline it.
All right, we're going to decline that.
All right, so what do we got?
All right, and so that makes all right, so we're on the clock here. So how about this, by the way? Darisaw and Vera-Tucker both came off the board.
Oh,
that's
okay.
the
This
worst
was
nightmare.
we
We've
just
screwed
got
up.
fired. We just got fired. We're
No.
out of work.
Here's what happened. Mike Zimmer is still licking his chops because Kwity Paye is on
Yeah,
the board,
and that's who they'll take.
and Jalen Phillips is on the board here. Should we take a
Yeah.
running back and Najee Harris and just blow this whole thing up?
Najee
It'd be
Davenport.
Kwity Paye here, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right,
we
we'll
did not
draft-
do a good job here.
We'll draft Kwity.
Zimmer
Well, Mike
loved
Zimmer
this
would.
draft.
You
Zimmer
get
loved the draft.
You get
but we
the
didn't do a
edge
good
rusher that you
job.
wanted all along, and then you get
Najee
additional
Harris going to
picks
Miami.
later on. So
All right.
okay, so this is
Rashad
gonna,
Bateman to the Bears at 20.
interesting. So this is going to just kind of move its way into the 3rd round here. So if this happens, if the Vikings trade back like we just did, and they pick up some additional capital in like the 3rd round or whatever it was, I don't even remember what the trade was we made, and they draft an edge rusher,
Yep.
what would your thoughts be?
I don't like it. But I think that the coach would be excited and ecstatic. I think that we should have stood pat and probably taken Darisaw is my guess. Like that might be. See, here's the thing though.
Oh my God, hold on.
What's going on?
Christian Barmore is still on the board. I just wanted to click the trade button here real quick. I wonder if we can pause the draft. I just feel like, all right, Christian Barmore is still on the board, late 1st. We're in the early 2nd round right now. That's a Mike Zimmer guy, okay? I'm just wondering, I'm trying to make a trade here and it's not letting me, but
All right.
I'm just wondering if a guy like Christian, here we go. If a guy like Christian Barmore falls that far, I know that he's not an immediate need. I'm just trying to put myself in the shoes of a Mike Zimmer. Would they look to trade back up for another dominant defensive player? I'm just throwing it out there. Like right now, we could trade with
Well,
the
Mike would
Dolphins,
like
move up
to.
and take Christian Barmore.
Mike would like to.
Should we float the Dolphins an offer and see what happens?
Yeah.
Just for fun.
Give them
All right.
all your day 3 picks. That's my dream scenario. Get rid of all your day 3 picks.
All right, so we can offer. Let's see. Let's offer a 4th. We offer 3/4 just to move
Yeah,
up,
sure. Yep.
and then we want this pick right here. All right, we'll offer 3/4 to move up to the 2nd. See what happens. The Dolphins are
Stay on
evaluating.
the line.
Stay
The
on
Dolphins
line.
survived.
All right, they've
Sorry, the
denied
Dolphins
trade
said no.
offer.
All right.
All right, that's fine.
They didn't have good percentages either.
Gotta shoot your shot once in a while here when you're a professional mocker. All right, I'm gonna click play again. All right, sorry. Continue your evaluation.
Oh, I was We should have stood pat. We should have stood
pat and drafted an offensive tackle there.
Darrisaw, yes. Because, I mean, if you're going to, at some point in time, it has to be addressed, right? It has to be. Like, we can't just keep being like, the issue is this, and it comes back to the sort of known but unknown, which is how much control does Mike have? Like, how much control does Mike, because if Mike has as much control as it appears, dude, he might take Kwity Paye. He might try to. But if you do that, when are you going to address the entire left side of your line?
I would say that
At what point?
And by the way, our first third-round pick is coming up here, pick 78 here. So we're going to, we're already getting calls here. This is great. We're going to decline these trade offers just so we can make a pick.
Right.
So real quick here, I think if the draft, I'm going to click pause. If the draft were to have played out that way, in which like two offensive linemen are staring them in the face and they still trade back, I think it means that they would have done something before the draft to better address offensive line, whether it's making a trade or something.
Yeah.
I think that now, of course, like the big trade that you would make, you're probably giving up the 14th pick to get Orlando Brown Jr., so you're not even really in that situation.
Right.
But anyhow, all right, so here are some of the guys that are still on the board. I don't know enough about these players. I'm sort of just looking for like which quarterbacks are on the board.
That's what I was just going to say.
Round, right?
Yep. Get to quarterbacks.
And so as I scroll down here,
there
Kellen Mond and Kyle Trask are both on the board here.
Oh, you might take Trask.
All right. Kyle Trask, much more of a household name because he was playing in some of these big SEC games. He's a Florida kid, right?
Mm-hmm.
Kellen Mond, mobile, also a lot of upside, and a guy that you could easily sit behind Kirk for a minute. This might sound crazy, I would actually lean more toward Kellen Mond's skill set than Kyle Trask's, but listen, I'm not an expert, nor did I stay at a Holiday Inn Express last night. So my vote is for Kellen Mond here as a developmental potential future starting quarterback.
Kyle Trask is going to sit behind Kirk, and he is going to learn everything that Kirk knows. Yeah, take Kellen Mond. It's fine.
That's fine.
Kellen Mond?
Yep.
All right, boom. We got him. All right, and then we're going to wait for pick 90 here. If Trask is still on the board, we're taking two quarterbacks in the third round.
All right, I got a question.
And they can fight it over.
I got a question to throw out about the first round as well.
Okay.
If Josh Fields is still there.
Justin Fields?
Josh. If Justin Fields is still there. And
Josh is his punter brother, and which the Vikings need that too. So,
what would you do? Because you might get a really good offer based on that. Because if the Patriots are going to take him at 15, someone's going to want to jump the Patriots. And that guy at 14, that's a potential great pick right there.
Yeah, I mean, oh man, here's the other thing.
What do you do?
All right.
What do you do, Jack?
Do you take him?
It's another question. Very fair question.
Do you take him? I mean, think about this. 4 or 5 months ago, Vikings at the bye, 1-5. Kirk Cousins threw interceptions against the Falcons, played like garbage. Like they literally came out of the bye and handed the ball off for 2 straight weeks because they stopped trusting Kirk Cousins, right?
Right.
And then in sort of the garbage time of the season, he comes back, plays really well, and now it's like, well, they're not going to draft a quarterback in the first round, and they're not in a position to do it really. Well, if Justin Fields starts falling and he somehow falls to 14, do you take him? I mean, I strongly consider taking him and sitting him behind Kirk Cousins, and I get that you're not helping this year's team with that, but
and that's the problem.
But maybe you found your franchise quarterback in the process with Kirk's contract running out in a year.
I agree with what you're saying. I don't think that the Vikings think like that, though. I think the Vikings are going to say, we've got to take a guy, and there's certainly going to be at 14 available talent to help you immediately. But yeah. Yes, if Fields falls, I think you either take him, or at the very least, I think you're going to have to consider a trade proposal, because there are going to be desperate teams who love him, and at 14 will probably give you more than they should to trade up to 14 to take him.
Yeah. By the way, on the clock here with pick 90, I'm just going to take an interior offensive lineman named Ben Cleveland from Georgia because I just want the monopoly on guys named Dalvin and then guys with the last name
Cleveland. But now I'm going to be really confused. Is it going to be Ben or Ezra?
And then I got a dog barking outside my window here that disagrees.
I can hear the dog.
Big dog's got to eat.
Yep.
Football.
The Seahawks fan.
Football.
Dog's a big Seahawks fan. Dog's mad about how they're treating your quarterback there.
So there it is, real quick here, before we pick the Vikings schedule. If we run the draft like this, the Vikings would pick
I don't
up
like this. We
some
didn't
extra
do well.
picks,
No,
but
we just
they
got
would-
fired.
They would draft Quiddy Pay, Kellen Mond,
Declan,
and Ben
sorry.
Cleveland.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't hate this. You got an edge
Declan,
rusher,
we've
you
all
got a
been
quarterback.
fired.
Yeah, we've all been fired.
We have all been fired.
We are so canned
we
here.
screwed up on that trade down.
Yeah.
So all right. So where? Yeah,
We lost all of the tackles. We had a chance.
I don't know that they're going in thinking.
I don't
offensive
either.
line in the first round.
But we had control and we lost control.
You guys want to pick the schedule here while we're at it? Since we're doing mock simulations.
Wow, yeah.
We got
This has been a big
schedules.
football day.
It's great. Mackey and Judd and Declan picking the schedule presented by our friends at Federated here. Federated Mutual Insurance Company has been around for over 100 years helping business owners with risk management, with resources that can protect your business. They measure their success by the success of your business. You can find a full list of industries Federated protects at federatedinsurance.com. Find out more about MyShield and how MyShield can protect your business. And remember, at Federated, it's our business to protect yours. All right, so Judd, you have gone an extra step here. We don't know the order in which the Vikings will play these teams. We know that the Chargers game is Week 17, and we know they play 17
It's week
games.
18, actually,
Week
now.
18,
There's
yeah.
18 weeks with 17 games.
And then we know also that they're going to play 9 road games and 8 home games.
Yes.
But we don't know the order yet. You have put together a mock order of the schedule as
Yeah,
well.
I did the schedule. I mocked the actual schedule itself, weeks 1 through 18, and then I gave them wins and losses.
And so, Declan, I think we should follow along. Like we've got on the
Yeah.
screen for the YouTube audience, this is just like the teams that they play. But I think we should go in the order that Judd is predicting they will play these teams.
That's what I was going
Agreed?
to say too. Yes,
Okay.
I like that plan.
All right.
All right, so let's all keep track of our own records, and then at the end we can
There we go.
say
Let's
what-
fire
you know,
up the
what-
thank you.
Just
Thank
keep
you.
it rolling, baby.
The music, man.
All right, so-
football music.
This is Mackey and Judd and Declan pick the schedule for the first of probably 10 times this offseason, and Judd Zulgad has simulated what that schedule will look like. So let's do this.
Week 1, the opener will be at U.S. Bank Stadium against the Dallas Cowboys.
Wow.
The Cowboys and Vikings in a week 1, potentially it could be a primetime game there. Cowboys are big, and they'll play the Vikings in the opener. Phil?
The first chance for Mike Zimmer to test out his new defensive vehicle, schematic changes, personnel changes, Patrick Peterson in prime time. That sounds like a primetime game to me.
Yep. I
It
agree.
sounds like one of those Monday games or something. I don't know what it's going to look like. Or maybe it's the featured afternoon slot on Fox, but I got the Vikings winning that game.
I also have the
Declan
Vikes
Goff?
winning that game. I think Dak comes back just a little bit rusty, and I don't like that Cowboys defense anyway. I think the Vikings actually win that one.
I am going to put my purple colored glasses on and agree with you guys. All three. It's a hat trick. All three of us. That is a Vikings victory in week 1. I believe that will that become the first time that Zim has beaten the Cowboys then?
Yeah,
He didn't coach
beat
the
them.
Prefer game.
He beat them
in Dallas.
primetime.
That's
Yep.
right. That's right. All right. Week 2, start of a brief road trip here for the Vikings. They play the Cincinnati Bengals
Oh,
in Cincy.
thank God.
That's actually one of the more, this is a really hard slate of teams, and that's a team that's going to be on the rise. They're going to add talent, and Joe Burrow's coming back, but it's
Riley Reeves out to get you.
Yeah. One of the most gettable games on the schedule.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to say the Vikings start hot. They 2-0.
Yeah, 2-0, baby. Wings. Eating those W's as the music runs out. Now we're back.
Unfortunately, that's a loss.
What?
They go into
wow.
Cincy and they lose.
Okay, trap game.
Cincinnati's not going to be a bad team. Cincinnati's an improving team.
Write that down.
How hot
That's a tough-
is the
that's a-
seat of Mike Zimmer?
That is a tough game. The Vikings lose it, so in my world, they are now 1-1. Week 3, in what inevitably will probably be a primetime game because it always seems to be the Vikings travel to Soldier Field to play the Bears.
That's a loss. Just an auto loss. Even it doesn't matter if Andy Dalton's the quarterback.
They
if
won
running
that
wild
game
card,
last year.
Yeah, they did win that game.
They won that
year.
game last year.
It's a loss.
All right.
I have it as a win. I don't trust that Bears team at all. Andy Dalton. No, I know that happened last year, but no, I think that's a win. The Vikings are 3-0 in my schedule here. I got 3-0.
Unfortunately, I'm with Phil on this one. That's a loss.
That's too bad.
1 and 2.
Okay.
Week 4, as we grind through the 18-week schedule, the Cleveland Browns come to U.S. Bank Stadium, Baker Mayfield and company.
So I think Baker Mayfield, I don't think he is a long-term franchise starting quarterback, personally. I think he's being propped up by great coaching, just like they've had talent coming through early in the draft for a long time. I'm not a Baker believer. I think he's going to see a little erosion of his game this year, and Mike Zimmer might help cause that. Win for the Vikings.
I have that as a loss. I think Baker Mayfield and the Browns come in here, and I think they actually get a win.
Stefanski.
Vikings, yeah, it's
Revenge
the
game.
Stefanski revenge game. I'm going to go with the loss, the first loss of the season to Baker Mayfield and the Browns.
If this game was in Cleveland, I think I'd give the game to the Browns, but it's not. And guess what? Fans are going to be back in the bank. It's going to be noisy. It's going to be a problem for Baker, who I think might shrink in this game. It's a Vikings win. I have them at 2-2 now. All right, week 5, possible primetime alert. Because in concluding the 2-game homestand, the Vikings play host to the Los Angeles Rams in what could be sort of a sexy matchup here. Wow. The Rams and Vikings in Minneapolis. Phil?
Oh my gosh. The in Minneapolis part of this is the key part of the equation here. This is going to be a tough Rams team. I think Stafford's an upgrade for them. This will be a good game. I think the Vikings win it. I got my Vikings glasses on right now, baby.
Yeah, you've got him at like 4-1 right now.
I like Matt Stafford a lot, and I think that defense is still good. I think the Rams actually beat the Vikings, and Minnesota drops back-to-back home games. So I have him as a loss.
Oh, people are about to be fired in season in Declan's world.
Well, they're
This guy up
3-2
here.
right now. I don't know if no one's fired yet, but the
You know
seats are
what?
warming up.
I had them at 1-2. And then they were 2-2 after they beat the Browns. And the Vikings are sort of the team that likes to come back, right? Just when you think things are going bad, Vikings win this game and pull to 3-2. They actually go above the mark, and they are 3-2. All right,
Never a train wreck. Never a train wreck.
no, that's their code. Week 6, they travel to play the quarterback list right now, Carolina Panthers. At Carolina.
Yeah.
Teddy Bridgewater? No.
That is a win, regardless of that. That team is still in transition. So
Win.
I've got the Vikings basically as the 1972 Dolphins here with just like one bad luck loss so far.
Yeah.
Dexter saying win
yeah,
too?
That's a win for me. Sure.
Jekyll and Hyde, hot start, go on the road. They lose that game.
Wow.
They lose that game. Carolina, an improving team. So I have them now at 3-3. All right, week 7, I'm going bye week.
Okay.
It's going to fall around then, right? Like week 7, week 8. So bye week in week 7, come off the bye and play host to Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers.
So a couple like second half matchups against the Green Bay Packers.
Yes,
I think sweeping the Packers seems pretty much out of the question. I think the question is, can you get one of two? And if you're going to, you said this is the home game. I'm going to say they win the home game, which means I've got them at 6-1 right now.
Unreal.
Mike Zimmer's coach of the year with Mackey.
Dude, this is great.
Dex?
I have as a loss. I don't think the Vikings. Aaron Rodgers has their number recently now.
What's your record now for the Vikings?
Right now, it would be 4-3.
He didn't have
But
their
they've-
number in that game out of the bye last year, right? I mean,
No.
they jammed
Right.
it down their throat with Dalvin Cook, and
Yeah.
Right. I'm
This
going
game is a win
Going with the
for
loss
the
for me.
Vikings. They beat the Packers.
You know I'm a diehard Packers fan deep down. So yeah,
Oh,
Packers,
you're a Wisconsin sports fan across the board, Declan Goff.
Yep.
Okay, they go from the Packers game and travel to Arizona to play the Cardinals. Week 9.
man, I'm a Kyler Murray guy. I think this is kind of a classic trap game too, because you come out of the bye, you put all your energy, and this is a very hypothetical schedule that Judd has made up himself, so I will indulge that. You've come out of the bye, you've gone all in with the preparation for the Packers, and then maybe you overlooked Arizona a little bit. So I'm going to say
Yeah.
the Vikings slip up here and lose this game.
That is a win. I think they go into Arizona and they get a win over Kyler Murray. I like Kyler, but I think that Cardinals team still has some holes. I think it's a win for the Vikes.
Vikings lose this game. It feels like a game that they lose. Like, it's close. It's probably close. It goes down to the last play or something, but it's a loss. All right. Thursday night game in Week 10. That's right. I'm calling Thursday night shots now.
So back-to-back road weeks.
Back-to-back road weeks in a very tough stretch, boys, at the 49ers in Santa Clara.
Yeah, this is brutal. This is the Kyle Shanahan revenge game. No one knows publicly, but behind the scenes, Kyle Shanahan tried to get Kirk Cousins this offseason, and the Vikings said, nope, he's ours, and Kyle said, cool, then I'll just beat you with whoever our quarterback is at that point in time. I'll beat you with Trey Lance, or I don't know who they're going to pick. Maybe Jimmy G is still on the team, but I think that's going to be a tough one. 49ers bounce back.
I think the Vikings would win this game if Jimmy G's your quarterback, but I don't think he'll be their quarterback. And regardless, you're coming off a short week. One of these will be a loss, so I'll say it's a loss for my schedule as well.
Vikings also lose this game, yes.
Okay.
Yes. All right. You come home, but it's very difficult because in Week 11, you play host to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Mike Tomlin and the Pittsburgh Steelers invade U.S. Bank Stadium.
Yeah, this is. I feel like this is sort of the demise year for the Steelers. This is they're trying to run it back with Ben, and it's not going to work. So I think this is a get right game for the Vikings after 2 straight losses.
Bingo. I think the Steelers are coming down to earth, and I think the Vikes get back for a win after a little half bye week essentially coming off the Thursday night game. I think it's a win for the Vikes.
The Vikings drop a 3rd consecutive game. They lose again to the Steelers, and so now things are spiraling. What's that, Phil?
Like, I love it. Like they're just going to lose 3 straight games, including a home game to the Steelers, because Judd wants everyone fired.
No.
He's going to speak this into existence.
No, I'm not, because
Rick Spielman.
Because now it's Week 12 and the pressure is on Zimmer and it's on Spielman and it's on Cousins, and they get a break from the schedule gods. Dan Campbell and the Detroit Lions await them at Ford Field.
I mean, this would be the hardest-nosed, toughest team that you're going to play, right? These are guys who are biting the kneecaps off opponents.
Yep. Bounties are taken on a regular basis.
I think the Lions put up a good fight, both figuratively and literally, but take 14 personal foul penalties in this game and give the Vikings too much field position. Vikings win this game.
I had this as a Vikings loss. I think they go to Detroit. The pressure's on, like Judd is saying. They're around 500 right now for my schedule, and I think there's going to be some kneecaps bitten off. I think there's going to be some penalties, and I could see like a 10-9, just absolute gross football game that the Lions escape with the win. So the Vikings lose at Ford Field.
Wow.
Yep.
Not me. The 3-game skid ends here.
Okay. Vikings
win. And then come home in Week 13 for another divisional tilt against the Chicago Bears.
Yeah, I think the Vikings are a good team this year. So like I've got them losing some games like at Chicago and probably at Green Bay when we get there, but I've got them also winning some games like home against the Bears. So I got to win here.
Okay. Dex?
That's a win. I don't buy Chicago. I also just thoroughly enjoy beating the Bears. So
I agree with you.
It's a little bit of selfish there.
All right, we are now to the back half of the schedule. We're in Week 14. You have to go play the Ravens in Baltimore.
Yeah. Oh, man.
There's a toughie.
Not a lot of people talking about the Ravens as much because it kind of feels like they took a little bit of a step back last year, but it's still one of the most difficult teams to game plan for with Lamar Jackson and well coached. So I'm going to say that's a loss. That's a tough one.
Yeah, that's a loss. Ravens are still really good in my opinion. I know they got off to a slow start last year, but also they had some COVID issues. I like Lamar Jackson. He's probably not like the perennial MVP that he was 2 years ago, but I think he's a very good quarterback. That's a loss in Baltimore.
In what is considered the piece de resistance from Zim, he comes up with the game plan to stop Lamar Jackson. He's been working on this since today. So he started in April. He beats Lamar Jackson. He beats Baltimore, and the Vikings rebound from their 3-game skid with 3 consecutive wins. And then they come back home in Week 15 to play the Seattle Seahawks.
So finally, The Rock has come back to U.S. Bank Stadium to play the Seahawks. It feels like that game is always in Seattle, right? And it's just like rainy and it's dark.
You're right.
And it's terrible. You can't gain a yard when you need to, and then you give the ball back to Russ and he drives 95 yards. And so Vikings finally get a little home field against a good team here, and they win this game. 10th win of the year for me.
This is what I call a false hope game. The Vikings get the win, and it gives the fans false hope because now we're right back in the wild card picture in my schedule release here. The Vikings get a win. They get a win against Russell Wilson at home.
Here's the problem.
Okay.
Yeah, they put in so much work, and Zim worked so hard to stop Jackson that they forgot about Russ, and they let down, and they lose this game because in stopping Jackson, what they didn't do was work enough on Russell Wilson. It's a loss. Then Sunday Night Football in Week 16 coming up next with Al and Chris. It is the Vikings going to Lambeau Field to play the Packers in a classic late season December football game.
Yep, and I've got this as a loss. I think this might actually be Kirk's worst game of the year, just coming off a couple really tough ones against Baltimore, Seattle. It's going to be prime time. It's going to be cold, according to Judd's schedule, hypothetical schedule that is just literally made up for this show.
I worked hard on this.
I've got
Home
this
road
as a
splits
loss.
are perfect.
Yeah, this is a loss for me. I had the Packers sweeping the Vikings this year. So, yeah,
It's a
that's
loss.
That's a loss in Green Bay. No way.
It's a loss. Now, the good news is from that game, you come home and play a Sunday afternoon tilt against Dan Campbell and the Lions. Is their act...
With Kenny Albert on play-by-play, probably.
Oh, no, it won't even be Kenny. It's not Kenny. It's somebody below him.
It'll just be subtitles.
It's like it's the local cable access team doing the game. Dan Campbell and the Lions come to U.S. Bank Stadium.
Yep, that's win number 11 for my Vikings
my God.
schedule here.
That's a win for me, too. I'll give him the win. I'll give him a win. That's
It's a
fine.
win. And then we know this for a fact. I believe the date is January 9th, 2022, Week 18 at Los Angeles at SoFi Stadium, I think it is, to play the Chargers. That's a tough game.
Man, and Justin Herbert is so good. And some of this kind of depends on where the Vikings are at. Like right now, I got them 11-5, so they've solidified a playoff spot. Probably lost the division against the Packers in that game, and so it's for you're jockeying for wild card positioning here.
Yeah.
And I think they probably lose this game. I think maybe they're resting starters or something. I'd say they lose this game. So.
I think they win this game, but it could be tough because I think both teams are in the exact same position wise, but I think the Vikings get a win. So they finish the season with a win.
Unfortunately, it's a loss. It's on the road. It's a loss.
All right, so final records: 11-6.
Dex?
10-7.
8-9. Everyone's fired.
You just want to do it for that reason.
8-9. 8-9. This is a very fair schedule, too. It's a very
8-9, dude. 8-9
fair
could get
schedule.
you in. 8-9 could get you in.
You know
as a
what? It
wild card
could.
team.
Phil's not wrong. You're not wrong, man.
It could.
But 8-9, and playoff berth or not, it's not sufficient. It does not do the job. And Eric Bieniemy is named the Vikings coach
Oh, wow.
Wow.
after
dude.
on January 16th, 2022. Eric Bieniemy is named the Vikings coach.
Amazing.
You can take that to the bank.
So if they go, if Declan and or I are right, and they go 10-7 or 11-6, they don't win the division, but they sneak a wild card spot. Then it all comes down to what are the expectations that people have for this franchise, right? Do you give them a pass because it's going to be tough to go through as a wild card, or do you say, well, then win more games in the regular season and put yourself in a better spot, right? I would if they go 11-6 or 10-7, I am sort of demanding win a couple playoff games. Perform really well in a big spot.
I don't know the
right?
Wilfs will, but yes.
Yeah.
I don't disagree with that point.
So there it is. Mackey and
8-9.
Judd and Declan pick the schedule. The
Everybody gone.
completely made up hypothetical order of the schedule. We know that these are the teams, and we know that they're going to play 9 road games and 8 home games.
It's a very fair schedule, too.
And we are looking forward to the actual schedule release probably sometime in May, and I'm sure we'll do a live extravaganza for that. But
Are you kidding? Oh, yeah, that's going to be great.
that is a wrap on Mock Draft Monday and on Mock Schedule Monday here on Purple Daily. Thanks to everyone for hanging out with us, and we will see you guys tomorrow.